Well, hello there. Yes, it is that time again. It is time for our weekly tarot reading. Today's date being the 20th of August of 2017. Now, I do apologize for missing last week's blog. I got very busy. That's all I can say. So what I'm going to do from now on, to make a point of not missing these, is probably start doing them more on the weekend, like the Sunday, because what's been happening is the days start to get away from me. I was putting it off to a Monday. The Monday I'll get some readings, or I'll get busy, or Barbara's got to go to the doctor. It's always one thing or another. And it gets pushed to Tuesday, and then something happens on Tuesday. It just gets so out of hand. So last week it got so behind schedule, I just skipped it. I said, it's just not going to be bothered doing it, on like Thursday or whatever, just let it go a little bit. So for now on, we'll do them a bit earlier. I'm not going to give up on it. I do want to do the blog. I do want to do the weekly tarot reading. I feel it's important. I've been doing it since 2008. So I'm going to continue. Also, before we get started, I know a lot of you are watching this in high definition, high resolution, whatever, as I do upload 720p. I got a little red spot here on my forehead. Now, this red dot isn't a religious symbol. I had something burned off of my forehead. I had a precancerous squamous cell thing growing there. And fortunately, I went to my dermatologist. I almost blew him off because Barbara had a couple of appointments that day. But thankfully, I didn't. And the man took it off my forehead. And no big deal. It's taken care of. But it's good to look into these things, especially if we live in South Florida and get our share of the sun. So let's go ahead. Let's get into this reading. Let's look at some cards. Okay, what I've been doing is working with the Tarot de Marseille. Beautiful visual deck, nice visual flow, and very concise. And what I drew for this week, the three cards are Death, Temperance, and World. Now, Death comes limping along, and Temperance looks at him and says, "Oh, you look so tired. Let me mix you a drink. Let me give you something to refresh you, to revive you, to make you whole." And the World card, too, is looking in that direction towards death. And the World card is as if the ground underneath the feet of Temperance was put as a wreath around the World figure, okay? So it's refocusing, it's rejuvenating. That's what it is. We have just come out of a waning moon. Tomorrow, as I speak tomorrow, Monday, the 21st, is new moon and solar eclipse. Now, waning moon means the energies are decreasing. They're growing smaller. And eclipse, of course, is not really, in terms of spirituality, is not really a good thing. There's probably some people out there that think that it is, but I don't. I wouldn't do any spells on a solar eclipse, or for that matter, a lunar eclipse. I wouldn't mess with it. Don't do any kind of magic. I just do what I do, and it can wait until the day after. That's the way that I see it. So we have these waning energies, but then we have this opportunity to rejuvenate. The new moon is new energy, new beginnings, and also a chance to refocus. Notice the figure in the World card is much smaller than Temperance. So it's like it's shrinking, it's focusing, it's saying, okay, this is what I need to look at. This is what I need to do. And we're going to talk about this a little bit more as we get into the astrology section of our reading. But just know that this week is for rejuvenating and refocusing and getting in touch with what we're trying to do. That's the most important things for this week. And the next two cards that I pulled are minor arcana, also are going to support this. That's right. The two minor arcana cards that I pulled, because I always like to pull two minors just to support the reading, give some practical advice. I get Seven of Swords, and I get the Knight of Cups. Now, the Knight of Cups is bringing refreshment to the situation of the Seven of Swords, where we're trying to push through, and we're saying, okay, I got to overcome some resistance. And I can do it, but I have to work at it and I have to focus. And it's like this figure saying, oh, I feel sorry for you. Let me give you some refreshment. I offer my cup. I offer my love. So this, again, is an opportunity to refresh, an opportunity to rebuild our energies so we're not struggling so much to overcome. We just effortlessly and naturally do it. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about astrology a little bit. Now, I mentioned the solar eclipse. I had to get into that right up front. So we do have that tomorrow, the 21st. And then we have the new moon, of course, with that. So the energies are waxing, increasing. Friday, Jupiter will be in a good aspect to the moon. So if you want to do like an abundance ritual, Friday, Venus Day is also good for this because Venus can affect our personal income. So if you want to do something like this on Venus Day, not a bad idea. And also though, even more importantly, on Friday the 25th, we will have Saturn going direct. So if you have felt the negative effects of Saturn retrograde, which could be really slowing down, restrictions, unwanted boundaries, a lot of this is going to start to clear up. Okay, the Saturn energy is going to be going direct, and this also fits in with the World card. The World card in the modern Tarot gets attributed to Saturn, but in this case it's the positive Saturn energy. So again, it's setting up boundaries so we don't get drained. Okay, that's also part of it. We need to set boundaries, constructive boundaries that enable us to grow and become the person that we want to be. So that's what we have going on this week. It's a time for rejuvenation, refocusing, setting up boundaries, and of course, empowerment. Well, there you go. Thanks for watching the blog. I appreciate you. We'll continue, don't you worry. Until I see you next week, many, many blessings.